What up, y'all? Today I wanted to talk to you about why did the narcissist choose you? Why did they come to you? Why do you keep getting these people to come to you? What's the reason, right? So I wanted to go over this because it's something that helps you to understand where you should kind of start building boundaries, because sometimes you're like kind of like, well, where is it coming from? I know I have some issues personally that I need to deal with or whatever, but people always say your vibration and stuff, and that is to some degree true, based on who you are as a person, or who you are when you're dealing with the narcissist, or the particular time that you meet the narcissist could be based a little bit on your vibration, most definitely, because we all have a charge, right? I mean, we like to talk about the narcissist having a negative charge, or such a negative demonic or satanic charge to them, but everybody has some sort of a charge to them, like a positive, negative. Some have an aura that's greater than others, some lesser, some are, their aura is almost put out, so. And I think that's sometimes the reason why that narcissist has to gain all this energy, because they're almost deadened inside, so they have to gather energy because they're almost put out. I mean, you're talking about something that they're dealing with things in them that are such to a negative. They're not even from this world, I don't believe. But so the first, there's several things, but one of the things that targets you is the narcissist sees that you are a person that it's very hard for you to say no, and wherever they have met you, they kind of like, it's almost like they're not even like sniffing these things out per se, maybe, but when they actually run into an individual and they start to see like, they're always willing to help, they love the person that is always willing to help them, and to make a way, and that has that type of caring and committed type personality. And so a lot of times, well, in the cases of me, I was always maybe physically attracted to the individual, so that played its own part. But I do believe that there is seduction to their looks, because I believe that that is mainly all that they have at the end of the day, besides the satanic construct behind them, because a lot of us believe that they are pretty much the footprint of the enemy Satan, when you compare them to all the ones that I have been with. But when you compare them with the Satan in the Bible, and you compare what their actually thoughts are, and their maneuvering and their manipulations, and how they actually think and plan things and strategize, it's completely just so evil. You would want nothing to do with them if you knew better. But they come with the looks, and they come with this type of seduction, and so that's where they kind of start this. But they like that person, that helper in you. They like that individual that is compassionate, and they like that sort of thing. So that's where it kind of starts with them, and then that's when they start sniffing you out and targeting you. That's when they start to dig in and like get to know you more, and that's when they're targeting you. They're going to plan on seeing you again and again. But mainly it also starts with finances. How financially savvy are you? What kind of assets do you have, and debt to ratio assets. They'll kind of get to know you and kind of wander through from talking with you, and kind of get an idea of what you own, and that kind of sort of stuff. So sometimes it's kind of good to keep those things closed and to yourself. I mean, they're going to find out what kind of car you drive, and look at what kind of clothes you wear, or something like that. And eventually they're going to get an idea of what your financial aspects look like, because there's a few things that they look for. They look for control, somebody that's easily to control, and somebody that's easy to isolate as well. Those two things are big, because if they can't do those two things, that they're kind of wasting their time, because they don't have the type of fuel, especially when you're dealing with what we're typically dealing with, this mid-range type narcissist is kind of the typical or a lesser narcissist. They don't have that kind of fuel. They're not like a greater narcissist where they have that kind of fuel out there, where they have supply after supply, and it's all great supply, and it's infinite, and they have finances that are infinite, and they have fame or fortune. We don't really see those guys. But the lesser or the mid-range that we're going to be dealing with, they don't have the fuel to be trying to fight somebody to nail them down. So that in their mind, you have to be easy to control, and easy to get under their control, and and typically I would say that that's the empath that is going to, for the primary, that's going to be the empath that grew up in a narcissistic family but didn't become a narcissist. I mean, we're already groomed for this, so we just click right back in. If you're unawake and unaware, okay, and that's how we started into this, right? I mean, we know now, but we didn't know then, and we may have done it over and over and over again for a time. I'm going to try to run through this quick, so it's like under 15 minutes, okay? So I'm going to spit this out. So so that's part of it. So that's when they start to come to you, and then the control, and then they got to be able to isolate you. So that, in my opinion, well, they don't like, if you have children and stuff like that around and you got to do all that, they don't want work. Okay, so they don't like all that. So they're going to try to find somebody that is easily able to isolate, meaning maybe you don't have children, and maybe you don't have pets. I personally, I've heard of narcissists online, people talk about they like pets and stuff. My personal opinion is they don't really like pets. And they actually don't like them too, because they're work. They're a lot of work, man. And so they don't like all that. They don't like, to be bothered with something like that. Sometimes I could see if they don't have any supply and they needed something to snuggle up to or something, that sort of thing, to get some supply off a pet, because they would talk about that. Yes, but generally speaking, they would rather just go out and get somebody, because it's too much. It's too hard of work to walk a dog, to groom a dog, to play with a dog, to have the dog follow you around. They don't like all that. So it would be somebody who is easily able to be isolated. Their family is kind of far away. They may be living all alone, that sort of thing. So they're going to be somebody that's legit an empath, super empath, somebody who's very empathic, and somebody that they can draw off a lot of fuel, and they can get a lot of validation and stuff, and the ability to prop that mask up and prop that construct up, because they got to be able to, and empath is going to be able to take the blame and to go inside a lot more and be like, yo, is it me? Maybe it's not them, maybe it's me, maybe I'm the narcissist, maybe it's me, or maybe I did something wrong, what could have I done? They love that, and the more empathy you have, the more they're going to play off that if you allow them to. Okay, and so that's a big deal. If you have if you're a good-looking individual, and a lot of times the ones I've dealt with were good looking, so the ones that I've dealt with were good looking, and it's always nice to have somebody that's good looking, right? They don't have to have that, but that's what they would prefer, because they're top notch. In their head, their mind, they're like gods, so they want to be with the best of the best. So when they tell you that you suck and all that, when they're devaluing you and discarding you, it's not true at all. When it comes to the primary source of supply, they want to be you. They picked you because they want to devour you and take your traits and become you. And that's really what they do. If you stay with them long enough, they will turn you into them. Remember, the inside of them you will look like the outside version of what they look like on the inside, right? But then they're going to take your traits and your qualities, and they're going to leave the house, and you're going to be, all your traits and qualities are lifting that mask up and building that construct up, and they're going to be able to go out there and look great. They're going to look like you, really. And that's why they copy you, because a lot of times once they get your fuel for so long, that fuel is your soul energy, man. It's your source energy. In my humble opinion, they are drawing off of your soul to some degree. It's deep. So yeah, looks is going to be a big thing. If they can get looks, they're going to get looks. They like somebody who's adventurous, because if they can get somebody who's adventurous, they're going to be like more of the, they're the excited, less than, and they're not going to be so, asking so many questions and stuff. They may be that happy-go-lucky or something like that. But they're going to be, they like adrenaline type stuff, and they also like the ability to love bomb you and for you to get excited and stuff like that. So if you're adventurous and you're willing to do things and to leave things up to them sometimes, or or if you're willing to come up with things for that you guys to do, and this sort of thing is they like that kind of stuff, especially in the beginning when it comes to the love bomb. They really enjoy that kind of stuff. Next is going to be a hardworking individual, because if you're a hardworking individual, see, most of the time they're very lazy, and a lot of times what they don't want to do is work. Or if they work and hold their job down, that may be the only work they're ever wanting to do. When they come home, they're not going to do anything at the house. It's all your job. And that's why a lot of times when you go over to a narcissist's house, they don't even want to let you in. They don't want to let you in because their house is a wreck. Their whole life is a wreck outside of their job. Like they may dress like nice, they may look nice physically, but their car from the outside, and it may look okay, but on the inside it's going to be tore up. It's going to be a trashed up and a wreck, and so is the whole inside of their house. It's going to be out of order, because see, they want to put forth that they are in order and full of order, and they got it going on, and they really don't. And so for you to believe that false mask, they don't want to let you in the house, because it's going to show more of them. Next is going to be your spirituality. So if you're somebody who's a religious individual, then they're going to play on that. They're going to play on your compassion. They're going to play on your forgiveness. They're going to play on all that. And they want to, see, I thought you were, forgiving, and I thought you were compassionate, and I thought you were helpful, and look at you, you're really not. Because you know how they kind of blame shift, and they triangulate, and they flip things, and they're always mirroring themselves back to you. Until you know all this stuff, you're gonna really they're gonna be gaslighting you, and they're gonna play on your religious aspects, because really they probably think for the most part that religion is a bunch of BS. Maybe man came up with it to control the world, right? And they may believe, if they do believe in God, they're going to believe that they're like God's incarnated son or something. You know what I mean? That's really how they kind of virtually look at themselves, but like they're God's incarnate, he sent here or something, which is ridiculous. But so that's something they're gonna prey on and play off of. And then the next thing is gonna be your giving personality, and so they want to abuse that at every chance they can. So if you're a giving individual, they're going to kind of get you to refrain from helping others and giving people others, maybe helpful financial things or blessings, like physical blessings, like, and they're going to want it all for themselves. So they're so greedy. They're greedy, and they're jealous, and they're also like individuals that are a lot of times hoarders. They're hoarders because they're afraid of lack. I mean, they grow up, their construct, one of the main constructs is fear and lack, and they neglect, and and all that stuff. So these are kind of the types of things that you're going to find in an individual that they're looking for, and an individual they're going to want to put as their primary source of supply. They're also going to want somebody with heavily built-in integrity, somebody that, they're a man or a woman of their word, because they want to be able to count on you. You could never count on them, but they're going to want you to have to count. They always want you to count on them. You to be there for them, but they don't ever they can never be accountable. They're not accountable. But you have to have integrity. They want the best of the best, but they also are going to destroy the best of the best and take their traits and all of their gifts, okay, and they're going to walk away with them, and they're going to live off of those gifts, like the trait acquisition that they talk about and things like that. They will be able to learn these things, and with your fuel, they're going to be able to walk that out, and then you're going to be walking and looking like them, okay, because you're switching energy with them on a regular basis as you're regulating their emotions. They also want somebody who really truly loves them. They want unconditional love, and I used to hear it all the time from my ex. They want unconditional love, but they will never give you any love. But they will, and they want somebody that they can trust and have unconditional love, but they're going to be so distrustful. They're going to be cheating on you all the time, and they have no love in them. And so it's very fascinating what they ask for and what they want and what they will give. They give you nothing except destruction and a little bit of, loving or sex, basically it's a lusting, I should say. And that's basically it. They also want somebody who is a protector because, they get in so much crap that they devise and get involved in that they're always anxious and concerned about their well-being because they create so much ruckus and destruction in the lives of others that they're always also afraid of retaliation. So if they're with you, then they know that you will even protect them even to the death sometimes, and you may be protecting the wrong individual. You would be. I mean, maybe. I mean, typically, they're going to be cheating on people with their spouses and all kind of stuff, man. Real bad stuff that can get people hurt in real bad ways. And, stealing and, using and abusing, finances of others. I mean, they're just incredibly evil individuals, and they will play on every good part and every good role in your life. And if you don't get keen to this. So, those are the different types of things that, that they will look for in an individual. And if they can get most of those, and like I said, if they can get somebody that, is a hard worker, easy to control and easy to isolate, and if you don't have children, they'll want to get married to you right away, and they want to get financially intertwined with you right away, and if they're young enough, they'll have a child with you right away. And those are the things that they will do all the time to get you nailed down right away, and then they will never let go of you. I mean, if it was left up to them, you're gonna have to fight to get away from them when you have those three things against you, because they will use them as weapons against you. That's why a lot of times when you wake up, you want to be quiet about it, and you want to kind of, just kind of gray rock, but they're going to eventually catch on to that because you're not giving up their energy. You're not reacting and regulating them anymore. And so then you're going to have to get the hell out of there. So you got to get your ducks in a row and get out as quick as you can, because they're going to eventually, they're not going to have that. And so, that's the way things go, man. And so, a lot of times when, you have dealt with them and break up with them, and a lot of times you may think like, well, where's their love partner or whatever. And sometimes what they have, their primary supply may not even, it may be a family member, like their brother is kind of like they're acting as their, like their husband, taking care of their child and stuff while they're out doing their, and they're doing a lot of sporadic dating, and their mother may be, acting, their mother and their brother, I've seen this before, acted as their primary supply, and then that was their primary supply. It wasn't a love individual, and then they had their child. So those three factors were, because she was like the golden child, so they always did everything for her. So a lot of times like that, she was her main supply, or her primary supply, her grade A supply was her mother, brother, and her son. And then she would have a bunch of secondary supplies out there that she would just like go and have sex with. And she was known for, basically a slut, like having sex with everybody, a hoe. I mean, and so, yeah, I mean, they're hoes anyway, but I mean, she really had a name for herself because everybody in town knew that she was out, you know, to get financial gains, trade acquisition, and she was like she was willing to do anything like sexually, and she'd like to go on trips, and so she would just have sex with a bunch of people in the community and around work and all kind of stuff, man. And then it's a terrible thing when you find out that the person that you're supposed to be seeing is doing these kinds of things, and it'll really kind of devastate you to where you don't even want to hear anymore. Like, you don't even want to hear any more of the find out anymore. You don't want to investigate anymore. You just want to just let it go and just get over it, because to hear more and understand more, just sometimes it's good not to know everything. And I've heard this from several people that have had investigators on narcissists, and they'll even tell you that, because it's just you've been hurt enough. You know, a lot of times you just let it go. You're never going to get closure anyway, because their negative life runs so negatively deep that it's so unfathomable for a empath to believe that somebody could be out there and be when they're not with you. When I said last week that they always, when there's the mask that they're wearing when they're with you, but then there's the mask that they're out there with other people. Those times, man, they're on websites, they're on Hinge and Go Fish and all these like dating sites, and they're meeting people every night and having sex with them. And, you know, they have a couple of people unbeknownst to you that they see on a regular basis, on a sporadic basis, that, you know, may take them on a trip. And you're like, they're always in pictures by themselves, or they're in the passenger seat, you know, like taking a picture and stuff. So, you know, they had a driver. I mean, it's like, it's just terrible. And it's just, it's shitty, man, and devastating. So the best thing, you just don't want to know it all. Anyway, I'm going to let you go because it's Christmas Eve, man. So be blessed, you know. And, give me a like and a thumbs up. Stand tall, soldier up. Peace out. Love y'all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.